Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Charlotte and this class is yoga for muscle recovery. So this is a great class to do right after a workout or on a rest day when you've got sore, tired muscles and you just want to bring some stretching and some relief into those areas. So we will go ahead and get started on our mat in child's pose. So just taking those big toes together, those knees nice and wide apart, we're coming into our extended child's pose to start. So let those hips sink back onto the heels, stretching the arms forward. Go ahead and release the chest and the forehead down onto the ground. If this is difficult for you, you can put a pillow under the hips or under the chest as well. We're just going to find our breath in this space. So coming into our yogic breath here. Inhale through the nose, feeling those ribs expand. Exhale through the nose, feeling them draw back in and release. Really breathing deep into the belly. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more time, just like that. We'll go ahead and walk our hands over to the right side, feeling a big stretch in the left side of the body. Just taking a breath here. And then taking that over to the other side. Hands come to the left, stretching through that right side of the body. Bringing those hands back to center now. And just move all the way up onto all fours. So fingers spread nice and wide. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, really pressing out of those shoulders into the hands. We'll start to wake up our spine a little, moving through our cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, opening up through the heart. Exhale, round the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. Again, deep nasal breathing. Inhale, opens the front of the body. Exhale, round through the back body. Two more at the pace of your own breath. And then coming back to that neutral spine, we'll start to stretch through the back of the arms a little bit and the shoulders. Keeping the right hand planted, let's inhale to reach that left arm up. Exhale, we'll thread the needle. So taking the arm under the body, dropping the left shoulder, the left ear down. You can keep the right hand planted down or reach it forward, whatever feels good to you. This should feel like a really beautiful stretch through the left side, through that shoulder. Breathing into that space. And then we'll press through the right hand to lift that left arm back up. Exhale, release it back down. And we'll take that to the other side. Big inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, threading that arm through under the body, reaching it straight out. Drop the right shoulder and the right ear. Softening the body with each exhale. Pressing through that left hand. Let's inhale the right arm back up. Exhale, release. We're gonna keep the hips and the knees right where they are, and we're going to stretch through the upper body, coming into our puppy pose. So let's take the arms forward, releasing the hips, releasing the chest down. And then dropping either the forehead or the chin down to the mat, whatever feels good for you. This is a pretty intense stretch on the chest and the upper body, so finding where it's comfortable for you. Speaking of puppy pose. And when you're ready, we'll gently come out of that one. Coming on to the tuck, so tucking the toes now, we're going to take the hips onto the heels. And this can be really intense on the bottom of those feet. So if you need to untuck the toes and just kneel, that's perfectly fine. Drop those shoulders down. We're going to get into the back a little bit more. So take the arms forward, and I'll show you from the front. We're just going to cross one arm under the other, and then bring the forearms and the hands up and see if you can wrap them around and touch the hands together. So this gets a really beautiful stretch through the back of those arms. If you can't do that, if that's not available to you, just go ahead and give yourself a nice big hug. Or it might just be the back of the hands that touch. Take a big deep breath there, trying to get those shoulders up. Trying to get those elbows up to shoulder height. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Go ahead and shake that out. And we'll just take that to the other side now. So just crossing the opposite way that you did before. And if one side feels different than the other, that's perfectly fine. That's why we do both sides. You can modify on one side differently to the other. Again, just breathing into that space in the back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, the traps. Let's take one more breath here. And exhale, release that down. Go ahead and come off of those toes if you're still there. Tapping the top of the feet to release that out. And we'll move into our first down dog. So just walking the hands slightly in front of the shoulders, really spreading through the fingers, pressing through the index finger and the thumb. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Really lifting that tailbone up towards the sky, pressing into the hands for a nice straight back. And let's just walk it out here, bending one knee and then the other, stretching through the back of those legs. Coming back to center now, on inhale, we'll take the right leg up. On the exhale, we'll bend the knee, open through the hips. So dropping that heel down, lifting the knee up. As you exhale, we're going to draw the knee in, stepping the foot through between the hands. So you want to make sure that your knee is right over the ankle here. Bringing that foot forward if you need to. We're going to keep the left hand planted, really pressing through that back heel and reach up through that right arm. So just an easy low lunge twist here. Big inhale. And exhale, release that hand back down. Drop that left knee back down. Engaging through the legs, reaching the arms up. So beautiful stretch through that left hip flexor here. Go ahead and draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone. I'm going to take my right hand to my leg and I'm just going to reach my left arm up and over, just deepening this pose with a little bit of a side stretch here. Coming back up. Releasing both hands down now to frame that foot. Go ahead and just take the hips back as you stretch through that front leg, straightening it as much as you can, flexing through the right toes. Again, if your knee is a little bent, that's perfectly fine. You can also walk the hands in a little bit to come up a little bit more. You just want to stay open through the chest. So feeling that stretch through the back of that right leg, through the low back. Let's take one more breath here. Beautiful, and then coming back up onto that right foot. So a couple of different variations here. We're gonna stretch through that left quad. So one option is to take the left hand down, reach back and grab the top of that foot. And you can pull that foot towards you to stretch the quad. If that's not available to you, you can take a strap or a towel, a tie, just something to pull that foot forward to give you a little bit more length. Or some people prefer to do this upright and grab it with both hands. So whatever feels good for you here. I'm going to be a little bit twisted. And just breathing into that quad as we stretch through. Making sure you're not tensing up any other body parts as we stretch here. And gently release. Planting the hands down, tucking through those left toes. We'll just step right back into our down dog. Taking one breath here. And then inhale, lift the left toes up. Exhale, bend the knees, you open up through that hip. So really pushing that left knee up, dropping the heel down. And exhale, bend the knees, stepping the foot forward between the hands. Checking in with your alignment here, that the knee is over the ankle. And taking the right hand down, reaching the left arm up for that low lunge twist. Release that left hand down, coming on to the right knee. Engage the legs as you reach up through the arms. So taking that sequence through the other side now. So this time taking the left hand down to the leg, reaching the right fingertips up and over. Feeling that deep stretch through the right hip flexor. Coming back up, releasing the hands down to frame that foot. And just taking the hips back as you straighten through that left leg, flexing the toes up. Again, finding where it's comfortable for you here. If you need to adjust or bend through that knee, that's perfectly fine. Using your breath to lengthen and soften into each pose. In through the nose and out through the nose. And coming back up onto that right foot and finding how you'd like to stretch your quads, going through those options. Either reaching back with the left hand to grab the foot or staying upright and grabbing back with both hands. Your choice, and it might be different from one side to the other again, so that's perfectly fine. And releasing back down now, planting both hands, tuck the right toes, step the left foot back to meet the right. Again, just stretching out through the legs here. We'll take one breath. And go ahead and look up with the hands and slowly walk the feet all the way to the top of the mat behind the hands. Again, keeping the knees as bent as you need to here, really hinging from the hips. We'll go ahead and just really release the upper body here. So you can keep the hands down or grab opposite elbows. You can sway side to side. Just let the upper body fully release. Maybe taking the head no or yes. See if you can let go a little bit more on every exhale. And then plant through the feet. Go ahead, release those hands on an inhale. We're gonna press and come all the way up to stand, reaching all the way up, reaching through those fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart center. Big inhale to reach the arms back up. Exhale, fold and hinge from the hips all the way back down over those legs. Inhale, coming to a flat back, hands to shins. Exhale to fold. Let's do that sequence one more time. Big inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to reach the hands back up. Exhale, fold back down over the legs. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. So from here, we're gonna plant the hands and walk back to down dog just for a moment. We'll inhale to reach that right leg up. Exhale, we'll come into pigeon. So the right knee goes behind the right wrist. The ankle goes behind the left wrist. And just extend that back leg down. The goal is to try to get the shin parallel to the top of the mat. However, if the ankle is coming in and that's not possible, that's perfectly fine. Just noticing where you're at. And just checking in that both hips are even here. So if you're rolling to one side or the other, you can put a block or a cushion there, but focus on squaring both hips towards the front of the mat. We'll inhale here, hands come to the side to lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, either staying here up on the hands or just come down where it's comfortable for you. You can be onto the forearms, the hands. We'll be here for a couple breaths. So finding where it's going to suit you to be, where you can really let your body relax and release, but still feeling a nice stretch through the outside of that hip. And again, coming back up onto those hands, tucking the left toes under to come out of it, and just stepping back into our down dog. Inhale, reach the left toes up this time. Exhale, taking it over to the other side. The knee comes behind the left wrist, the ankle behind the right wrist, extending that right leg long. Evening out through the hips, and we'll come up onto the hands. Beautiful straight spine, big inhale here. Exhale, staying here, coming down to where you are comfortable for a couple of breaths. And to come out of this one, we're just going to gently roll onto that left hip, swing the right leg around. We're going to come to a comfortable seated position. So just sitting up nice and tall here. Go ahead and take the right hand to the right side, Lifting the left arm up and over, really planting that left hip down. Again, just stretching through the left side body. Taking a breath here. And coming back up to center. Let's take that the opposite side. Left hand stays down this time. Right arm reaches up and over. Keeping those shoulders stacked, the heart nice and open. Reaching that right hip down. And coming back up to center. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale, we'll take a gentle twist. Left hand comes to the right knee, right arm goes right behind you, keeping a nice straight spine. And if that feels good, you can look over the right shoulder. Gently releasing back to center. We'll take that to the opposite side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twisting over to the left now. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left arm goes behind to support the spine. Looking over that back left shoulder if that feels okay for the neck. One more breath here. And gently releasing back to center. We're just going to gently stretch through the neck and shoulders here. So just clasping the hands behind the back. We're going to take them over to the left side, really dropping that right shoulder down. And we'll drop the left ear over to the left shoulder now. So just feeling a stretch through the right side of the neck. You can stay here, or you can just find a bit of gentle movement, starting to take the head down and forward, and back and up, playing with tilting that chin up and down. Staying in any spots that you feel might need to be stretched out a little bit more. And releasing, coming back to center. And we'll just take that over to the other side. So taking the arms over to that right side, drop the left shoulder down as you release the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And again, just feeling that stretch on the left side of the neck, breathing into it. Either staying here, finding any gentle movement that might feel good to you. If you're like me, your neck is pretty much always sore, so this always feels really nice. Ready, gently releasing. Shake the hands out to release that clasp if you need to. And we'll go ahead and end our practice just seated nice and comfortably. Close down the eyes and just connect with our breath here for a moment before we continue with our day. We'll take a couple cleansing breaths here. So big inhale through the nose. Big exhale, sigh through the mouth, releasing anything you want to get rid of. Let's do two more just like that. Big inhale. Big exhale, sigh to release. One last time. Keeping the eyes closed down. Just let our breath return to its natural state. You can keep the hands on the lap or the knees. You can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Just feel the breath move through the body. Feeling the sit bones grounded onto the mat, the spine long, the crown of the head reaching towards the skies, the shoulders drop down the back. Just giving yourself a moment for stillness in your mind and body. To close out your practice. Feeling relaxed and released in the body and clear in the mind. One more breath here. And ready, gently open up the eyes. We'll take one last big inhale together, reaching up through the hands. Exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.